Hi, welcome to another episode of Pragmatic Woodworking. Today we're going to continue on with the Disston saw restore. I started this set of videos a couple of years ago. It's been a while since I've posted, but life gets in the way. Today I'm going to show you how I take the handle off of a saw plate. I'll show you my vise setup and clamp setup, and then why we use it and what benefits come from that. So stick around, watch how I do it. Okay, I just wanted to take a brief moment and show you the vise setup that I have. It's just a regular, vise that you buy at a big box store. Nothing special about it. It's mounted to some scrap wood that I have, and then it's just clamped into my bench. Pretty simple setup. On top of that is it's just a wooden vise, a wooden clamp, I should say, that I've taken and mounted some just some leather. It's actually, I think it's suede that I found in like a craft store somewhere, and then I drilled that hole through it. Now that hole it's centered in the middle of the clamp there, and it's 3/4 of an inch. So that's to make it big enough so that you're gonna see I'm gonna clamp the vise in there, or clamp the saw in there, and then that hole is just big enough to pretty much get any fastener or any bolt that's in the saw out through that hole. And you'll see how this whole clamp setup will hold the bolts while you screw them apart. It's really good setup for getting the emblem out of it as well, and you'll see that here in just a second. Okay, so I gave you a quick tour of the vise clamp setup. Here we go. So I got this clamp in here, this wooden clamp, hole drilled through it at 3/4 of an inch wide, suede, just kind of glued onto the inside of it. I do have this side of this clamp is a little thinner, and you can see how it moves in the vise, so that the vise actually holds this side of the clamp. That side doesn't move very well. So I can tighten this and still have free rein to move the other side. And that just took a little bit of scraping, and I have just a hair clearance in there, just enough for that to move. Something might be a little trick that you guys want to do. Okay, so the advantage to doing this method is that sometimes these bolts that get in this saw, or get into a saw, these are so wrenched in there that holding them on this side is difficult because there's nothing to grab a hold with. Now this one, you can see somebody's gone and put this screw and nut and stuff on there just as a temporary hold because they didn't have a regular bolt. But sometimes these will spin and you can't grab them. There's nothing to grab onto them with as you're turning the other side with the screwdriver. So that's what this does, is we'll drop the saw in here, and then you'll be able to hold these nuts in place and turn it at the same time. The hole is big enough where it won't grab the bolt here, and you turn this with a screwdriver. Now for this weird one here, I'm just going to grab it with my vise clamp, or my vise wrench here. I'm just going to grab a hold of this and then turn it out that way. Yeah. Just grab it like that. Take a screwdriver and turn this out. Yeah, I'm just going to pretty simple. I thought these bolts would be rusted in here a little bit more. That's going to work pretty easily. Now you can take this side and just pop it. Okay, I got that nut off. It came out the other side. It's not really turning out very well. So I think I'm just going to hit it with see, it's spinning in there. So it's not coming out, and I can't really push it. So I'm just going to give it a couple of taps with my hammer. and then pop it the rest of the way. It might now just go. Yep, there it goes. Thought I was going to have to use my nail punch to do it. But that takes that out. So we're good. We're clear with that one. So I did that one that way because I could grab the other side with the vice grips. Generally you don't have a bolt like that. This is a pretty old saw. So now I'm going to take it, mount it in here, and just line them up. And this is great for getting this emblem one out too, because sometimes those will stick. So I just put her in there, line up the hole. Okay, so I have the saw in there. It's clamped in. I have it lined up with the bolt here, the screw head there, and this side is pinching the emblem. And I've really wrenched her down to hold it in place. So the only screwdriver I have that fits this is this little guy here. And that's because the slots in these screws are so narrow, because I think they're pretty old, that none of my other screwdrivers fit it. And now that's turning nice and easy and coming right out. Piece of cake. And there it is. So that pulled that bolt out by holding the other side. You just take her out, and that other side should hopefully fall right out. If it doesn't, take a nail punch, sorry you can't see this on camera, and just pound away at it. And she'll come right out. I seem to have it busted through. It was so clamped on there that the screw head, or the bolt side of it, went right through it. Huh. Well, that means that doesn't go back on. So we'll have to investigate. So now you can see why you want to use a taller clamp. This is just a 6-inch version of this. It fits, I can get it in there, but sometimes the height of the saw plate, you'll hit the screws, but that's okay. We're gonna... Is that one? Well, let's just get the other way too. Oh, how many I can't quite twist the saw to get to it. It's just a lot back and forth. Yeah, so now I can turn this saw handle up to get that out. So now I can line that up and hold that one in place. And do the same thing. These are surprisingly coming out pretty easily. Like I said, this sounds pretty old. I thought they were going to be rusted in, but they're not. Okay, that's going to work pretty well. So again, just line it up. I know you can't see this on camera. There. And the saw handle comes right off. No problem. Now that you have that, you can see it does rust up underneath those handles. This is all rusted and a little corroded, so that does need some cleanup around there. And there's usually this schmutz, whatever it is, that builds up along that handle. And that's just from years of stuff getting in there. So clean that off. This plate's been sitting in my basement for the last couple of years, since the last time I did these videos, so I got to redo this even a little bit because it's rusted. But that's how you take the handle off. From there, now you can fully clean the plate. You should actually probably take the handle off first, then clean the plate, because then the next step will be to either do the handle or sharpen the plate once you clean it up. So stick around for the next set of videos to show you how we'll do the handle and then we'll sharpen the plate. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this episode of Pragmatic Woodworking. Next time I'll show you how I take that saw handle that we took off and finish that, and then also show you how we sharpen that saw plate. So stick around. I have a lot of content coming. I've kind of neglected my channel for a few years, but I'm in a position now where I'm going to start to try to build it up. So I have a lot of things planned. Please subscribe so that you see more as it comes out. Hit like if you like this video, and hit the bell, please, so that you know when more content gets posted. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.